Stochastic fiction game. This is a time-writing game. For 90 minutes, I'll be writing a story using this stochastic fiction outline and its story elements I am about to execute. If I can remember where my script now is, as its source location has changed. And output of that file, which I'm going to go ahead and copy, this line. And now we have our stochastic fiction outline, randomly generated and time-stamped. Today's stochastic fiction story will have story elements of setting time future, setting main location ranch, conflict person versus society, quantity of primary characters mini, point of view third, genre science fiction, format your format. I only say because I feel like I've done this one many times before, but I play the game enough that maybe it's just me thinking it's the same. Like every single one of these things fall in line for a science fiction in the future. It could be part of this society. Person versus society. Maybe that's a bit. I think person versus society, the present. And maybe it wasn't science fiction. It was the woman that lived in the trailer based upon someone I'd once met, one younger. Or she lived in a horse trailer with her horse out in plains of Arizona. This is different than the same. I had one on a ranch a little while ago with a robots, and a person. All were getting laid off. The person was getting laid off, and the robot wasn't. Robot felt for the person and tried to get the person hired back. So I can't have it be that. I wrote that one a little while ago. I'm going to go with flash fiction for the day so I can at least have some sort of completion. Last stochastic fiction game has been chapters, portions. I choose to go for this. I think I have a future story ranch. Let's make it a utopian. Let's make it a story that doesn't have some dire conflict, like losing your job. I think the one I did last that was on a ranch for the nonfiction present with the woman that was living in the horse trailer. I don't think that was... I can't remember what that one was. It was a time ago. For this one, though, I got to have it on a ranch. I'm going to have it on a Utopia ranch. What did that even look like? I mean, I've done enough dystopia in my life. I mean, even in Utopia can be one's dystopia, as I say. So let's make this like a realistic Utopia. There's some tension, maybe. Somehow, I'm trying to think. Not sure how. There's got to be conflict. Else you're just like describing a thing. I want to make it a story, not a description. It's a ranch, right? Let's go back to the outline. Let's just stare at that. I think all ranchers are kind of are against society in a sense. Especially if you're like the private rancher. You're resisting society to have the megacorp take you over, as well as not continually getting screwed by the government and people not really caring because we don't. unless we're a rancher. We don't know where our food comes from anymore, and it comes from a corporate farm or a private farm. It's going to taste the same to us. Most people, I'm not saying everybody, there are people out there that have particular tongues and desires to be able to have and taste different things from local farms, which I get and I respect, but most people in life don't have that time. All that said, let's make this a small farm that's able actually to survive. I only gave myself 90 minutes today. So it's going to be a small farm. That's I guess that's utopia in my mind, that people who want to farm, be on a ranch, do cattle. No, there's a difference between a farm and a ranch. It's going to be ranch. Horses, cows. Maybe not cows. What do they got on the ranch? Like a farm, I guess I was kind of going down that road. Because on a farm, I have more experience because I've worked on a farm, and there's no like debate over foods. They're growing on like an agricultural farm. Now, if we're talking like an old farmhouse where you got hens and eggs and chickens, and even that's a little bit more acceptable than like a ranch. Because ranches to me are, you're either training horses to do a thing or you're getting cattle to use their skin for clothing or eat them, which I do. So, but many don't. So that's like the almost a way to show there is no utopia, because I could imagine that a private rancher wanting to be able to expand and work with others for their beef, their pigs. Maybe we'll go pigs. Because I've been on ranches before. I stayed on ranches before because my grandparents lived on one. A couple. So I get it. And I like meat. So let's go there. Let's write this about cattle. I'm more familiar with cattle. I know farmers/ranchers that have done sheep, but I didn't grow up around or wasn't on a ranch around sheep. And even in the fields where I grew up, there's either horses or cows. Excuse me. Of course, I do remember great friends live near a pigsty, pig farm. Ooh, man, like wind caught, and it was blowing over that. There was a pasture between the pig farm on the corner and the house. Really great memories in that place. But the wind caught wrong. Poof. That stench from that farm of pigs, or ranch, whatever you want to call it, pigsty, it stunk. The sweet smell of silage, too, sometimes caught. But that was not from there. Conflict, person versus society. I think all like ranchers are conflicting against society. And I guess that's even more reason for it to be about a cow and some beef. Yeah. It could be said that we could throw in this complaints. Maybe, what is it, third person? Ooh, this would have been a great attempt for me to do first person, but the point of view is third, so we can kind of pull it back. The quantity of primary characters, many. Maybe science fiction. I'm going to throw this into science fiction. I was kind of building this up to be like the future, but science fiction could work. I want to think that in the present tense, I can do present tense. And flash fiction. So usually I do this in 2 hours, but I'll give myself an hour and 20 minutes for this time, hour and 30 minutes. I'm looking at the clock. Sorry for distraction, but I gotta time something. Looking, staring at an outline, ain't gonna write the words. So, cow. And I got to go look at the outline again. Yeah. What time? I mean, you can either be during a pivotal moment. They got to brand them. They got to they got to round them all up. Maybe they got to take one. Because I think I've done the branding before. But you wouldn't really brand them anymore in the future, right? Because you just put a chip in them. I don't know if they even brand animals anymore. I imagine they do in the sense, but yeah, I'd be interested to know. I don't know. When I was last on a ranch, they branded them. They would round them up, put them in tight fencing. They'd brand them to make sure they're okay, and then let them go back on the range. At least that's my faded memory of it. So for this, though, I think they're going to take maybe it's the chip. Maybe they got to chip the bull, too, instead of the heifer, the cow. I think it's, yeah. I don't want to have to look it up because I'd have to because I don't remember those things as well as I used to. So future, person versus society. You're a rancher, so you're going to be versus society because society doesn't give a shit about you. And there's reasons for that. I think sometimes people feel that a lot of the ranchers nowadays shoot themselves in the foot because they support politicians that don't give them shit or don't really care, or use them as pawns too. But that doesn't mean that even if that happened, people would really care. They wouldn't know. Most people, the only reason they know that exists is because sometimes they go out of business and people complain for a moment. And then they still get their beef and chicken just from a corporation. But this farmers in the future are able to survive. And I got to think of a way to make it happen. I don't want to just BS it like, oh, it's all happy and there's this thing that flies around. Like, how would you be able to like do that? And then I can write that story and that conflict and that system goes down. How are they able to make it? Maybe they sell the data. I think that might work. They could sell the data. And I guess this is the roundup, the branding of the chip. How would maybe... What's the conflict? It doesn't have to be like altering the world, or maybe they're going to go bust because they don't do this thing. It doesn't need to be that serious. Maybe it's as simple as like the device that he doesn't own. I don't know gender. He, she. Let's not make assumptions. I don't have my dice. Fortunately, I always have dice near. I don't want to use an 8-sided. Let's use a 6-sided dice that I'm used to using. 1, 2, female, 3, 4, male, 5, 6, they. 5, they. Let's go for it. And maybe I could use it in both the singular as well as the plural. What's the name? It's the future. Names became a little more interesting. Will they ever become more interesting without people thinking they're silly? Like, I know people go crazy having names. Like, using the sounds to make it sound like something else that everyone else, anyway. To just go beyond names. I think I've talked about this or thought about this way too much. Let's go Frank or Gilda. Guild. Guiled. Guile. Glid. Glide. Glide. I like Glean, but that's like maybe it's a nickname. It's a ranch hand name. Like, I think this person needs a nickname. Oh, excuse me for the yawn. One moment. Okay, well, things happen. Glean. No. See, like the transmitter? Like, what is this thing that they have? And what are they using? I don't want like neural something 6000. Jesus. You're not going to put that in your name brand. Although you're going to tell everybody if it's the latest and greatest, but on your branding, it's just too expensive to put a number into it. Unless that's like a thing that doesn't change as often. It changes every day. And it's just a transmitter. So it'd be like, I guess it'd be more probably in your like personal. You wouldn't have a separate, you wouldn't. Yeah, that doesn't exist. And what I mean by that is it's not going to sell you a separate component unless it wants to lock you in. Which maybe that's the complaint. Maybe they're being critical and judgmental about this tool. They're told it's really good. And they're given a chance to test it on a couple cows that got rounded up. And this is, unfortunately, if it was first person, man, usually I don't like writing first person and I want it to be third, but then the time that it's third, it would have been better, easier, maybe easier, better, who knows. Easier, I think, right now, at least in my mind, if I could be this rancher that's critiquing this new device to be able to put into the cows to collect data and make a little more money to survive. Because no one's buying beef and a lot of the cattle died. I don't know. I want to just to make more money. Let's just leave it at that. I'll let other people put their future fiction on farmers and ranchers into this and just leave it at the conflict is criticizing this thing, whether they're going to buy it or not. I can use the physical actions about showing that. It might work. It might write. Hour and 11 minutes. I think that works out. So it's just a third person. So then I definitely need. Hold on. Opal. For some reason, I thought of character in a show that was even before I was born, called The Andy Griffith Show. It was black and white. Saw it on reruns. It was Opie. I want to go Opal. This is the name. I mean, it's no better than. Nah, let's not go there. Well, rapidly clicks. Yeah, I gotta divide. I gotta decide what kind of. It's just like a gadget. Future, where they sell the receiver as just like an app on your personal device. I think it'd be a. maybe it's not. Maybe it's like that future when they start to separate out devices because they don't want to share memory space and have the chance for the data that gets collected to be taken by somebody else. So maybe they do have like this individual sort of configuration in that goes with this injection gun. I think this is going to be the bowl. I'm a little bit nervous too because we're going to make it the bowl. It doesn't want to be in this pan getting shot and the thing's not working. The bowl's hind legs. The bowl. Jump kicks. Cleanse the gate. And thrashes horned head. So let's start with that. That's tense. Maybe. The bull jump kicks the gate and thrashes horned head. The bull jump kicks the gate and thrashes horned head. The bull horns head and horns. Bash the exit gate. Let's do that. Let's put the entrance gate of the pen. Pen. We'll go there. And thrashes horned head. Bashing the exit gate. Just put a comma. Make it a sentence. What are those things like? Steel? No, it's like I'm just gonna go steel. Aluminium, probably. Like I'm just trying to like think of the materials because steel's heavy. Doesn't hang well on hinges in normal pulling. And it usually was like bars though. It wasn't that wide because you didn't need to have like a bunch of cows going in there at a time, and the objective was actually to narrow. So it was like the steel bars, and that way you can't. When they headbutt, it was different, but when they kicked, I don't know. I'm just gonna say. I'm going to make it big and mean because it can be. The other gate. The exit gate. Opal, who away from the horn, and it looks at a rectangle. Let's not do the who's. We can just short Poppy sentences a little bit, and then we get the longer ones. Mix it up a little bit. I've had complaints like that before. My sentences are too short, too long. Need to break it up. I think both of them all are true. The bull jump kicks the entrance of the still gate. We'll go pen still gate, so I don't want too many ofs there. The bull jump kicks the entrance of the pen still gate and thrashes horned head, bashing the exit gate. I gotta give this bull a name. Because bulls are given a name, because there's usually just like one or two. Well, all those PBR fans, maybe this is this ain't a riding bull. It doesn't have that luxury. Although, I don't know. Maybe that's not so good, because you get treated like a king, but then you have to travel in a trailer if you're a rodeo bull. Which still, I mean, they get treated better than most humans, I would have to say, likely. Or many humans that exist on the earth right now. I dare say even most. The bull jump kicks the entrance. The bull kicker? No, let's not give him a name. I need to give this bull a name. But one that works, like Stinger. If I do give like a name like Dancer, that's why it's called Thrasher. It just hates being pinned. It doesn't mind. It's fine out there, but it also protects the heifers, the cows. Mix up my technical terminology, and then someone will get pedantic on me and ridicule my use of words, which, I'm not saying it's wrong, just saying move on. Bashing the exit gate, the bull rears its head. And swings horns, stabbing at Opal. And steps back. The side of the pen. Rapidly clicking the button. I think the whole tension is just putting this thing into the cow. Or the bowl. Opal leans back and steps from the side of the pen, rapidly clicks the button. of a rectangle device. Expecting a green light to glow on the top. What color is this rectangle? I keep on seeing gray. You probably want to make it something that you could find, and maybe so it's like construction sign orange. You make it like kind of rugged in its description. I mean, that's a lot of words to describe this box, though. Like something like neon orange rectangle. How big is this thing? What's a common palm-sized neon rectangle? And it'd be rugged. Like, you have little features on this thing. All it needs to do is put the chip in, program it, inject it in the gun. Gun injects it into the bowl. They're trying to program the chip right now, and it's not getting greenlit. At least that's what the story that's building up in my mind as far as... And we don't even have to go with, like, utopia or dystopia or anything like that. The future, maybe this chip tracks its health. I gotta maybe tell a little bit about that. Let's kind of go there just real quick. So the chip, because I got it in mind, I might as well get it out right now. So chip. This chip tracks, detects food ate and water drank, and the cow's vitals through the day. The chip tracks and detects food ate and water drank, and the cows biosignals. Streams into opals and house. And stored in a bank vault. In a vault. The data the cells on the open market. What is it? The cattle for meat. Cows for milk. Or the bull to be a bull for other heifers. Well, that's science fiction, right? I don't know, probably not the extreme. This would be more, probably, if you were to look at it, would be speculative fiction, they once called it. It's science fiction. It's like the literary version of science fiction. They just didn't want to say science fiction like it's a bad thing. Much like the term fantasy adventure. Or the bull to be a bull for other heifers. Okay, there we go. The data sells on the open market for more than Opal makes, selling cattle for meat, the cows for milk, or the bull to be a bull for other heifers. The chip programs inside the neon box the frequency, the encryption keys, and the unique ID of the cow, of the cattle. And inside the neon box, the encryption of the keys and the unique ID. Hard code. I have not the chip be the object of this sentence and have it be more the subject, maybe. I already introduced. A program chip. A program chip never changes. And alerts of other chips. And the cattle. Yeah, Opal grips. We'll go there. I'm just going to keep writing. I got to write about the things, the science fiction. I mean, this is, not really too far in the future. It's not like I've got rocket cars in this one, but I've written enough about rocket cars before that I don't need to write another story about rocket cars. I've written one about rocket horses, too. I'm thinking of that right now. They have flames coming out of their hooves. I'm not the first person to have done that or thought of that, but I felt like the first when I wrote it years ago. And then I remembered I'd likely seen this on some cartoon or something like that, back when they were playing Saturday mornings. Opal grips. An empty cup of water. A neon console. The neon box. And slams. What did I have? Stinger? Thrasher. Yeah, that's been a name before. I guarantee someone's named their bowl, especially if they use it for rodeo. They call it bowl Thrasher before. Maybe they got Thrash. Ooh, no. Let's not go there. Holding a pen's corner together. Better hurry. Who says this? Luis or some... Thrasher bangs the side of the fence that wiggles in the loose wire, holding the pen's corner. Better hurry, says Luis. The chip inside the neon box. Just like... The neon box configures the chips. Whoa, 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 whoa. Opal grips the neon box and slams the top against the thing. Thrasher brings the side of the fence. The wheel. Better hurry. The chip inside the neon box configures the chips. I just got to get rid of these words. Kicks the steel bar fence. All right, I think maybe there's a story here. Oh, what do I call it? Controller. I should call it a controller, configurer, or something besides box. But let's keep flowing, and I'll just come back and I can correct that. I got 41 minutes left. I don't know if it'll take me that long. The top of the box, the neon box glows green. What is its opal? Technology, maybe a loose wire. Opal grins and shakes head. Maybe a loose wire. They grab the. It's called a pistol. The injection pistol. I haven't described that yet. I will a little bit. On the ground. Wipes the barrel, the narrow barrel. Their jeans. Slides it into the device. I guess that's another reason why it can't be like an attachment to the phone. I'd say red. If you want to go green when you're ready, when it's done. So it's done programming green. The green light flashes. It clicks. I definitely have to lead up more to this a little bit, possibly. Meaning the beginning still, I skipped ahead, so we'll get back there after I at least get some sort of end. If there's going to be the light flashes green, pulls a pistol from the box, the pistol's barrel from the box, and presses it against like a sense. Thrasher puffs steam from nose. And clomps the frosty ground. Frosty mud. Cold, crisp morning, especially in a dry cold. Thrasher puffs nose and clocks the musty, frosty mud. Clomps, not clocks, clomps, with a PMP, clomps. Thrasher puffs steam from nose. It just be puff steam nose. That's a little weird, don't you think? I do. Thrasher's nose. Puff steam. And hooves clomp the frosty mud. Thrashers. Let's possess that nose. There we go. Thrasher looks it. Opal aims the gun. Where would you put this? Right in the rump, maybe? But you probably want it close to the brain. Yeah, like you're gonna have to. I just inject it into the body. This is science fiction. It'll find a way. Aims the gun at Thrasher's rump. And looks at Thrasher while pulling the trigger. A pin pricks Thrasher. Kicks the rear fence. the entrance. Slammed. Gorges, gouges, gouges. Dasha kicks and kicks the entrance fence. And gouges the exit fence. A horn swipes near Luis's shoulder. I'm going to spell that differently every time. I don't know how I'm going to spell it right there. Luis. I think that's the horn swipes near Luis's shoulder. Steady there. Luis grabs the exit fence. Pulls the fence while grabbing the side fence's top pole. And leaping over it. The exit gate bangs against the exist. It's my exist gate. The exit gate bangs against the fence. Bangs against fence. Thrasher thrashes. Kicks the ground. There's the end. Been an hour, almost. But maybe this will be the first time where my beginning sucks because I didn't edit it enough. Usually I just linger way too long on the beginning. Which is good. You want to pull people in and make sure it's interesting, but I don't pay much attention in the end, and it just ends up sucking when you read the whole thing. Being bad. Do I have any? Damn it. I always got to give myself more water. Because it's not exactly as refreshing as this coffee I'm about to drink. Alright, 30 minutes. I can read through this at least once. Let's make sure this flows well too. So the bull thrasher jump kicks the entrance to the pen still gate and thrashes horned head, bashing the exit gate. The bull rears its head and swings its horn, stabbing at Opal. Opal leans back and steps from the side of the pen, rapidly clicking the button of a palm-sized neon orange rectangle, expecting a rectangle expecting a green light to glow on the top. The chip tracks Rapidly clicks the button of a palm size, expecting a green indicator light to glow on top and let him know and let them know the chip is configured. The chip tracks and detects food ate and water drank of a cow. The data streams into the Opal's ranch. The chip tracks and detects food, detects and animals, food ate and water drank. And we'll go there. There are biosignals through the day. Every day. The data streams into Opal's ranch house and stores in a vault near their bed in a Faraday like vault seems massive to me. So I think usually when you think vaults, you're stepping into a vault. I don't want it that big. Near their bed. Boom. The data sells on the open market for more than Opal makes selling cattle for meat or the cows or the milk from cows. Or the cow's milk. How's that? The cows for milk. The cow's milk or the bull to stud and be a bull for other heifers. A program chip never changes and alerts of other chips in the cattle. Opal grips the neon box and slams it against their palm. Okay, I don't have the gun in the hand too, so I don't have the pistol yet. So you're in the part of trying to get this thing to go through. Trying to get this thing to work. So that's the entire focus. Also to get the bull out and also not to get hurt while doing it. So at least have some conflict, some resolution that works. Cow goes away. Opal shakes the neon box. That doesn't work. Thrasher bangs the side of the fence. Let's go back, man. I skipped ahead. Am I done? I might be just done. Opal grips the neon box and slams it against their palm and then shakes it, clicking the button. Thrasher bangs the side of the fence that wiggles in loose wire, holding a pen's corner together. Let's just be done. I gotta need a name for this. Neon Thrasher. Chipping Thrasher. I don't know if that's compelling of a chipping. Harvesting data. What's better though? It's not harvesting. What do you do when you... God, you got to go round them up. Round up data. Rounding up the data. Rounding up the data. I mean, it's rounding up. Rounding up the bowls. Rounding up the bowl. Branding the bowl. There we go. We'll show all my ignorance, make sure that I got at least the ranch terms right, and what is a cow, what is a heifer, what is a bull. I'll look this up immediately all after I'm done, but that's just going to happen then and not now. We're at time, for me at least. I think I'm done with this story for today. Person versus technology. I failed there. Shot. Yeah. I guess society too. I don't know. There's hinting of society. Just damn. I get so sidetracked on the story. I started it. So let's just read the story elements aloud. I'm going to read this aloud. I don't really. Yeah. Well, I guess it is society. It's getting all technical. Let's do that. Let's write a little bit more. Let's make this versus society. Opal knows the bills are late. Collecting in there. Foreclosure. Or offer money for the land and the ranch. Opal knows Tara up the way. Sells her data. Or it's a little dystopian, but at least that gets a person for society versus society a little bit more. And then you just get in the action and the science of it. I mean, this would be like person versus a lot of things. Let's just go with it. I think I wrote something that will at least make it toward a little bit more society, but this touches on many different things. And I suppose probably I don't know, maybe society is the main conflict. I should put primary conflict. There's so many things to always adjust, but there's only so much time in life, and I only have so much time to write this here. For today's stochastic fiction game, we had these story elements of setting time future, setting main location ranch, conflict person versus society, quantity of primary characters many, point of view third, tense present tense, genre science fiction, format flash fiction. Story's name for today is Branding the Bull. Branding the Bull. The bull thrasher jump kicks the entrance of the pen still gate and thrashes horned head, bashing the exit gate. The bull rears its head and swings horn, stabbing at Opal. Opal leans back and steps from the side of the pen, rapidly clicking the button of a palm-sized neon orange rectangle, expecting a green indicator light to glow on the top and let them know the box is configured to chip. The chip tracks and detects an animal's food ate and water drank and their biosignals through the day and even at night. The data streams into Opal's ranch house and stores in a Faraday fireproof box the size of a nightstand near their bed. The data sells on the open market for more than Opal makes selling cattle for meat, the cow's milk, or the bull to stud and be a bull for other heifers. A programmed chip never changes and alerts of other chips in the cattle. Opal knows the late bills collecting in their message queue warn foreclosure or offer money for their land and their ranch. Opal knows Tara up the way sells her data for free drones to herd the cattle and a sponsorship to advertise her life. Opal grips the neon box and slams its top against her palm and then shakes it, clicking the button, thinking of bills. Thrasher bangs the side of the fence that wiggles in the loose wire, holding a pin's corner together, thinking of the open pasture. Better hurry, says Luis. Thrasher's gonna thrash. Opal shakes the neon box. That doesn't work. Why can't it be on my phone? Thrasher kicks the steel bar gate. Steam puffs from his nose. Thrasher don't care, says Luis, stepping back from the exit gate as it rattles from Thrasher. Luis looks at Thrasher. Don't like being trapped too, Thrasher. He points at Opal. Opal's just having some trouble and don't mean to keep you waiting. Thrasher settles. The top of the neon box glows green. Opal grins and shakes head. Maybe loose wire? They grab the injection pistol off from the ground, wipes the narrow barrel on their jeans, and slides the pistol barrel into the device. The green light flashes. Opal pulls the pistol barrel from the box and presses and aims it at Thrasher. Thrasher's nose puffs steam and hooves clomp the frosty mud. Thrasher looks at Opal. Opal aims the gun at Thrasher's rump and looks at Thrasher while pulling the trigger. Thrasher feels the stain, kicks the entrance and fence and gouges the exit fence. Horns swipe near Luis's shoulder. Luis grabs the exit fence and pulls the fence while grabbing the side of the fence. The side fence's top and pulling and leaping over it. The gate bangs against fence. Thrasher thrashes, hooves smack and kick the ground, and his rump leaps and legs kick the fence, haul to the open pasture. That was the stochastic fiction game for today. There are two things that I added to this that I want to write into it. And that is it. That was the stochastic fiction game for the day. I am going to save this in more ways than just in a file. Let's write this, write the story and the time with the elements, the features. Publish. And that was the stochastic fiction game for today. This time, still minutes left. I suppose a few minutes that maybe I'll try to rest my mind and let it flow with empty thought, so we can at least maybe relieve some of the stress that everyone experiences in life. And sometimes they even get to experience silence.